copyright strike. Hold on one second. I think we're live. Oh, what a disaster already. I don't know how much I'm going to talk here. I got to just figure out this software. What I got to do is I have kind of a surprise. And if you're here watching, the comments box is working, so you can fire me a message. I think there and in locals, because locals should be working, even though I'm not directly streaming. I'm on. I posted the. I don't know how that's okay. Anyways, locals later another time. All right. So, hey Jen, what's up there? Yeah, Jen, I'm getting white girl wasted. Like, look, honestly. It doesn't get worse than that, right? You know how many times I was made fun of by people in all the places I've been in Latin America because I just don't like beer, and everyone thinks I'm such a loser, and I still don't care. Like, I don't care. I'm going to drink what I want to drink, and that's just the way it is. So, cheers to everybody. We're definitely not having coffee tonight. Some would dispute whether this is alcohol or not, but what can I do? So, I should see if you guys have a Twitter space, if I can kind of link this in. Or maybe we should do that at some point, do a live stream / Twitter space sort of thing. So, okay, the idea here is, this is not going to be long, and we'll be here for maybe like 20 minutes or so, and we'll hopefully figure this out and not get too white girl wasted, although usually 2 drinks does me in. So there's a chance that I might. So what I'm trying to do is, oh wait, I got to put the Joe Biden demon lights on, right? Is that Joe Biden demon? No, it's not red enough. We need it more red. There we go. Blood red, right? So I'm thinking about doing a one of these simulcast watch things, parties, whatever it is, in the next couple weeks, where we look at Punchy McGregor's documentary on the Freedom Convoy, because Freedom Convoy, by the way, is again trending on Twitter. They can't get us out of their heads. It's brilliant. And you know what? They never will, because it's never going to stop. It's never going to stop. They have no idea what some of us have planned moving forward to kind of move this thing along and continue it. So anyways, I have it here, so I'm going to try the software now. I think I can. Yeah, okay, perfect. Here we go. So this goes down here. That's my desktop, and I'll show you what I'm trying to do, okay? And I want to, maybe this is something for everybody in the, oops, there's an invoice, for the spaces, that I'm going to put Punchy McGregor's, here we go, the Fake News Punchy McGregor's special report presentation. Bullshit artist. So we'll try a little bit of it now, and let's see how this works. Well, I can't really, I have to check on my phone and see what this looks like as we do it. So, 1 second. If I make that full screen.
Special presentation.
And special presentation from Fake News Punchy McGregor. There we go. So this is the documentary that that Punchy did, that apparently nobody watched, and I feel bad. Since nobody watched Punchy McGregor's fake documentary, I thought we, those of us involved in the Freedom Convoy, oh yeah, it works, we could help him out. And by getting a few people to actually watch it for once, right? Okay, I don't want that. That's not the right setting. If anybody's used Ecamm, you can kind of help me out. And so I'm trying to get the full screen effect with me on the side, but I need to be able to kind of see your comments and stuff. So turn off the playback audio or your mic will pick up. Yeah, no, I think I already turned it off. The problem is then I need to hear how much. I guess I can put in some Bluetooth headphones because right now I can't hear anything. Okay, I gotta try this other setting. So that doesn't work. What if we go? No, that's a video playback. So how the hell do we do this? This doesn't make sense. I don't like. All right, so anybody who's techie and watching, it allows me to share the screen. Oh wait, I think I know what it is. Well, Safari, Signal. Okay, I can share only Safari. What a mess. You know, why can't we just have good UX design? If I'm trying to share Safari, why does it give me the entire screen? Okay, that's the entire screen. And if I do that, then we have Safari, right? But if I go to share just Safari, you still see the full screen in the background. I don't understand. What the hell's going on? Anyways, okay. So this document, I've seen about 10 minutes of it. And I don't know, maybe if you were on morphine, it would be enjoyable because it's such utter bullshit. It's got to be one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time. So what I want to do is have a whole bunch of us come together so we can watch it together and have a good look at Punchy. Look how serious he is. He's very serious. What a schmuck. George is here. I miss what you're trying to do because I was casting you to the television. Oh, wait, I gotta explain all of that over again? Oh, wait, if you're casting to the television, how does it look? Like, does it look like a mess? Or, well, it should probably look the same as it looks on the, what the hell? Okay, now my phone just died. Okay, it's plugged in and it's died. I don't understand how that happens. It's charging. Okay, whatever. What a nightmare. And I know what, Jen, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking like, okay, why doesn't he just read the instructions, right? And it's because we don't read instructions. Why would we do that? If we could, it's like when you learn to fix a car, you don't read the instructions on how to fix a car. You just take it apart, right? It's the same thing with this. So I just don't really have some time anyways. I see everybody on Twitter. I don't know if you guys are watching here, but if you are, post something to the comments and get yourself a drink. Because the other thing is, I'm thinking to do this at night, on like a Saturday night or even a Sunday night. Saturday night's probably better, because if we watch Punchy McGregor's stupid documentary, it'll be a lot better if we're drunk or if some of you want to be high or whatever you indulge in. I mean, by all means. But that's really the only way to enjoy it. Or maps or ask for directions, man problems. Yeah, totally. Like why? I mean, now it's a little different because now you have GPS. So I don't even bother. I just put everything in the GPS and that's it. But and to be fair, the software that I'm using is pretty new. So the amount of tutorial videos that are available for it are quite limited. And I mean, I've used enough audio-visual software in my life before, so I should be able to figure it out, you would think. But it doesn't seem to want to do it. Okay, current application. Well, so the problem is when I click software or I click Safari, like what is kind of the default window that I want to be on the main screen, it doesn't change. It makes no difference. So I either have myself here, or we have, I wonder how many like suspicious people think I look like the devil. Like, you know, this is me making fun of Joe Biden, right? Like, I hope that's obvious. Use OBS Studio. So I've used the standard OBS and I've used OBS Streamlabs. I didn't like either of them, to be entirely honest. And I also want to be able to have the ability, oops, just almost spilt all my drinks. I want to have the ability to be able to bring people in for an interview, maybe, but I'm not sure. I want to at least have that ability. And with OBS and Streamlabs, you can do it. It's just really, it's really clunky and it's labor intensive in terms of configuration and setup. Whereas this is, I mean, it's more complicated than StreamYard, but it has a lot more versatility and it's still simpler. Okay, what if I do this? Hold on. If we go to, how is that? So if you're watching this, Jen, I don't know if you're still casting it, but if I make this, let's say I make that the full screen of the window, well, and then I can't see the eCam. Hold on. I'm going to ask you to tell me if something looks good in a minute in terms of screen formatting. Let me just, you know, I need another screen. I need to bring my other screen here to do it. Yeah, it's casting. You're cut off already spilling. Okay. Jen's already cutting me off. Well, wait, Jen, because I have a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, who went and bought me these Smirnoff Ice. I had left them here, and I have 5 more to go. And after 3, I'd probably be passed out on the ground, but whatever. It is what it is. Okay, so if I turn that off, okay, how does, now I can't see the comments. Fuck, man. All right, I can, all right, Jennifer tells me I'm cut off. Okay, so that's what it looks like when we're on the screen. Now I'm gonna turn you off. Okay. And of course my cell phone is not charging for some reason and trying to reboot. What if I check here? 1 second. Go ahead, talk amongst yourselves while I figure this out. Go ahead, talk amongst yourselves. Okay, while I figure this out. No, I don't need that all the way. Hello? All right, there we go. Okay, so, wait. We might have a solution here, I think. Okay. I think what we're going to do is, if I make it like, well, that's not what I want. Okay. Make this full screen. Almost. Well, let's see if I make it full screen. Can you make eCam full screen? No, you can't. All right. Is this, Jen, or anybody watching, is this minus, well, maybe I can move this down. I'm going to ask you if this is in a second. Let me just kind of get to what I want to get to, and I'll explain this. This is so clunky. There's got to be a better way of doing this. Okay. Now, despite the fact that there's the fake news ads and BS that I don't want here, can we get rid of the ad, please? What if I go to eCam and I move myself? Oh, there you go. There goes their little ad. Oh, well. I guess you can't see the ad. Okay. Is this... Hello from Montreal. Naughty Productions. How you doing? Hey, listen. If you're in the video production or the live streaming production, guy could use a hand. So, Jen, what do you think? Is this annoying to watch? Like, I know the Punchy McGregor fake news nonsense isn't the full screen. I get it. It's not ideal. It's not perfect. But, oh, wow, they got a full 7,000 views. Amazing. What's their budget? I mean, a few $100 million a year? That's money well spent. So tell me if you think that formatting is viewable, because if it is, because I think it's a pretty long documentary. I sent you a pic on Twitter. Okay, hold on. My phone is rebooting, so let me see. Pic on. How come you guys aren't doing a Twitter space, by the way? I saw you did one a couple of days ago. I think you didn't do one on Thursday when you were going to do one or something. And then I saw James had one. I stepped in for like 2 minutes, but I was too busy. I was all over the map. I couldn't really deal with it. And then nothing since then. Okay, where is Jen? Okay, here we go. I can see it on my iPad here. So, like, for me, it's fine. But, you know, I kind of want to know what you guys think, if it's obnoxious. And if you don't like it, oh, cool, on your television. All right, so, hold on. You can see all my whole browser history there. I hope there's nothing inappropriate there. Twitter, well, that's pretty appropriate. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so Jen, you're going to be the deciding voice here. If you think DJ productions, all right, well, that's cool. You want to DJ a book launch event in Toronto? I don't know. We can use somebody who does music. Okay, anyways, if you think this is acceptable, I mean, other than the content's just going to be god-awful CTV, fake news nonsense. But aside from that, if you think, like, the screen formatting is acceptable and you could watch this on television, despite the fact it's pretty busy because it all has all the CTV fake news bullshit around it. But if it's cool, then we'll just do it like this. If it's not, then I'll find another way. This looks good. I like it. Okay, good. All right, so I will send this off to Pam, and I'll let her know, and we'll go. Sean. Oh, hey, Sean. What's up, dude? Tell us more about your book. What's the title, release date, cover pic, content, maybe a preview or Substack link. All right, so my Substack is the same as it's always been, BJdichter.substack.com. I've released a chapter. Did I release it? Yes, I did. I released a chapter that we omitted from the book. It just didn't make the cut. It didn't fit with the rest of it. And, well, Jennifer, I'm going to kill you. I love you, but I'm going to kill you. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to get the full screen of YouTube, and with it's just the software that I'm using. It only allows you to set either the browser or the full screen as the default area. So when I set the browser, it views it like a browser. So if I make it full screen, then it gets rid of me, which maybe, I mean, that could be fine. I just think the Joe Biden lights are funny. Anyways, so Sean, title, release date, cover pic. So one chapter was posted to the Substack. We are going to do another chapter to the Substack just prior to the book launch. The date is to be determined. It'll be before Christmas, so you got a little bit of time. And the title, nope, not released yet. Release date, well, I just told you, sometime before Christmas. The cover, we've just got that sorted out, and my graphic designer is working on it. Cover and back and content. The content is really good. Did it with an investigative journalist who I've known for many, many years, who's a published author, who has taught me the process of book proposals, writing a book, how we do it all, and just putting together all the critical dates of everything that went on and correlating them with the interviews and what was happening on the ground and who was doing what. That in itself was a monumental task, and thank God for his expertise in the area. It's great to have an investigative journalist to be helping you comb through everything, all the critical dates. And it's amazing what we learned, and what we learned who sabotaged us, and all the people that were talking out of both sides of their mouths around you and me, brother. So it's going to be quite interesting. I'm guessing quite a few people are going to be upset, but what can we do? Hopefully your release party can be during the inquiry. I'll be out East End. We're going to be... I actually got a request to do a book launch in Florida as well, to do one in Canada, one in the US. And a couple of people out west have asked me to do a book launch there. So I don't know. There's still so much up in the air, and of course you can't make everybody happy. There's no question. Can you make these? So, what streaming software are you using? I am using Ecamm, and basically Ecamm plugs into Restream, and so I guess it's the Restream. It sets all the RMTP settings, and Ecamm does kind of the formatting and all that sort of stuff. Sean, take me. I know, brother. Yeah, we probably should talk sometime over the next couple of months, because there's a lot of stuff going on that's really, really disappointing. Disappointed in a lot of people. But what are you gonna do? I like the fact it's not full screen. You can promote indirectly with open tabs. Oh, yeah, good, Jen, I love you. See, you're very smart. You said I'm smart. I'm just a regular dude. You're smart. And look here on Twitter. What is trending on Twitter? Freedom Convoy with 14,000 tweets. I wonder who caused that to happen. Pretty interesting what's going on. Hold on. I just want to see if my screwing around with the tabs here flips what's being broadcasted on the main feed. And if you see any changes, let me know, because you should. Yeah, okay, there you go. All right, so let's go back to that. And there's like a 20 second delay. Sean Thiessen to Florida. The problem is there's complications around that because of the people that I will have to be with in Florida. Not acquainted with that platform. Sorry, can't help you. Yeah, that's the whole point. So that's why I was suggesting before. Ecamm's kind of a new platform, and so there's not a hell of a lot of information in terms of tutorials around it, and it's a struggle for. I mean, it's one of those things you just kind of figure it out as you go along. Okay, you know what the problem is, Jen? When I have all these tabs open, then I get distracted. So like here's the honking for freedom, and so it's on Rumble, by the way. So Jen, I don't know if you've been watching my streams on, I do the live streams on Locals. And by the way, for people who want to buy tickets or get tickets to the book launch, the first triage is going to be, we're triaging the whole process. So the first group of people that will have the opportunity to get tickets are the subscribers to Locals, of which there's 300, 400, 500 people, something like that are subscribers in there. And then after that, if the tickets aren't sold out, then we'll be doing all the tickets to the subscribers of the Substack. I haven't executed pay subscribers yet, but there will probably be that factor in it in some way, shape, or form. And that goes out to approximately 100,000 people. And then after that, it'll be available to the general public. So in order to get tickets, you'd have to at least be in a subscriber to the Substack and hope that the other 90 some odd thousand people haven't bought tickets. Now that's possible, but there's only 200 seats because it's intentionally going to be a smaller venue, and there is a reason for that, and you will be joining that. Well, you won't be drinking, so you'll be focused. Well, I mean, I'm drinking now and I'm focused, right? But, all right. So I think Jen, if you're telling me that the test is okay, that if we leave it with this screen and you don't mind the distractions from all the fake news nonsense, that this is a good way. Oh, and you know what I should do? So if I'm gonna have to be able to stop and start is the big thing. So like when we see all these smear merchants saying things that are completely fake and false and whatever, I'm gonna have to stop it so we can all pause and laugh at it. And I actually think I got to stop it as well for copyright issues, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure, but oh yeah, I probably can't use the YouTube feed, I probably have to use the CTV fake news feed, right? So CTV fake news Freedom Convoy documentary. All right, let's see what happens. All right. Oh, here you go. First thing that pops up, you type in CTV Fake News Freedom Convoy, and it brings you right to the fake news. Oh, but they have their embedded commercials in their feed that nobody watches. Well, let's see. If we press... Okay, Jen, we haven't solved the problem. Honk tube, honk honk. Honk honk at you as well. 3 ads. Oh, for freaking... It's killing me, man. Okay. I'm going to modify a little bit, Jen, from what we were doing before, and tell me how this is going to look on your large screen at home. This might screw it up quite a bit, because the website for CTV looks like it was designed by a part-time student in high school during the summer, which is probably what CTV did because they're so cheap. I divorced cable decades ago, so this should be interesting. Yeah, I haven't had like cable television since I don't know, late like early 2000s, I guess. I'm not a fake news BS kind of guy, and I don't really watch TV shows. I watch a lot of just documentaries and infotainment and stuff like that. Okay, so, Jen, this sucks, doesn't this? Take a look. So here's the problem. If we watch the stream on the fake news channel, it doesn't make it larger enough. Delta, why can't you use authentic footage? No, the idea is I want to make fun of Punchy McGregor. Like, we want to make fun of their bullshit documentary. So I want their fake material because we're gonna get drunk and have laughs and talk about how they're so full of crap, right? So it's the idea. It's not about, I mean, we know everything they say is a lie anyway, but it would be fun just to dissect it. I think it looks good, and you're keeping captions on. That's distracting. Captions on? Where? Are captions on? Shouldn't be. Not where I am. Jen, can you hear the documentary, by the way? Can you hear me talking, like, or do you only hear my voice? I should check here. Let me see. 1 second. That's the problem. That's another problem. So we don't have any audio from this crap. Let's see. So I have to... But that doesn't work because that's going to be delayed. It's not linking in. Okay, so this is a problem. So we can see it, but we can't hear it. Jen, I might have to actually read the instructions on this one. I think it looks good. You're keeping captions on. Did I click the arrows on the bottom right? Which arrows? Huh? Okay, the stay. Bottom right, in, wait, okay, so, that's, oh, okay, so, see, Jen, you're smart. You're really smart. That's great. So it's good here. There's a delay, so I can't see it on the iPad yet, how it comes through. And the next thing we've got to figure out the sound. Oh, God, look at this guy. He looks like such a pedo. He really does. Do you remember, like, maybe I'm dating myself, but remember Different Strokes? Like one of the, I think the first season of Different Strokes, it was like an iconic episode where like the kids had some pedo that was trying to pick them up. The pedo reminds me of Glenn McGregor, like, you know, whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I clicked the arrows on the what's it called? On the computer, it looks full screen now, You should. It's just now catching up on the feed. So let's see what happens. You like Punchy McGregor or Pedo McGregor? I think Punchy is better, right? He just looks like that kind of stupid guy. Okay. So that looks better, Jen, right? Great. So we can't hear anything. That's the problem. If I put this in here, it's coming through the mic. It's not coming through the system to you guys. So I don't know how to fix that one. That's now confusing. How do you get... The sound is all the way up there. I need to keep the computer muted. Maybe in sound preferences there's something here. If anybody has any suggestions, by all means let me know. So output, okay, Ecamm. I don't know what to do. I'm so lost. Let me see. Are there some settings here? Maybe there's some sound settings. All right. Sound effects. Oh wait. Don't that want that not muted system audio. Oh wait. Okay, so maybe that works. Let's see.
Huge scale.
Yeah. Let's move that back up.
Many
here.
conservative MPs are still supportive of the convoy and its opposition to the vaccine mandate. One said he hopes to bring them coffee.
Peaceful,
be a delay, I guess.
law-abiding, hardworking, freedom-loving truckers
okay,
who
I
have
just
kept
heard
my
that from
family
somewhere.
and yours alive throughout this pandemic.
It's Kieran on the bottom, I think. Yeah, maybe. Francine. Thanks for coming, by the way. Thanks so much. I hope you're all drinking. I'm going to get another drink, so just hold on tight and let's see what happens. Tell me if you get some sound coming in from Punchy's stupid documentary.
Some setting off fireworks. The convoy arrived in Ottawa to find downtown streets closed to vehicles. Thousands streamed onto the hill by foot. The vaccine mandate for cross-border truckers that first inspired the convoy was only part of the protests against all COVID measures.
We want our country back. No more lockdowns. No more mandates.
Okay.
Kids back to school. Nurses
Go.
back to hospitals. Give us back our lives.
I hear it, not delayed. Oh, really?
You know
Okay,
what I mean?
hold on
I
one second.
understand the pandemic. It has taken many lives, but you know what? There's no reason to lose my freedom as well.
And I know we just want to get the mandates strong,
Perfect.
but I think we got to take it up a new notch. Right?
Jen, I think we figured it out.
Trudeau to resign
That's awesome.
once and for all.
We're gonna make Punchy look like
Organizers of the
such an
so-called
idiot.
Freedom Convoy
It's gonna be
as many as
great.
500,000 would attend. In fact,
Just like
the
all
crowd
of these.
measured in the thousands.
This
Some
commit, what
protesters,
the
frustrated by
commission,
lines on the hill, tried to climb a
whatever it's
fence.
called. By the way, the whole
A
commission
statue
thing
honoring Terry Fox
is
was
complete
draped with
bullshit. It's going to
flags
be a
and
complete joke.
protest signs.
It's all going to be a narrative from two political parties, and there's not going to be anything
Some
factual in
protesters parked their
this
vehicles at the National War Memorial
this
until they were removed by
commission,
police.
investigation, whatever it is. It's complete
Others
bullshit.
waved flags and danced on the monument to Canada's war
So don't
dead.
get your hopes up.
One
It's
protester
going to be
carried a
all
Confederate flag. Another
partially what
expressed
you see in the
his
fake
opposition to
news and
vaccines with a
partially
yellow
from
Star of
other people
David,
who are running
similar to those
fake
the
narratives.
Nazis
Okay, be
forced
right back.
Jews
Getting
to
a
wear
drink
during the Holocaust.
too, but this sounds perfect.
Eat a snob.
Okay.
Eat a snob.
That's awesome. That sense of accomplishment. And you know, I didn't even read the instructions, right?
And these streets were just jammed with trucks. It was like you couldn't.
Hey, Kiss
you
Junkie,
couldn't
how you
get
doing?
Through the openings, the passages between them. It was so crowded.
Kiss Junkie, that's okay. I appreciate the fact that you come whenever
it was
you
pretty
can.
Cool, eh, that day? Wow.
It's
Remember that, Mac?
really, I really do appreciate it.
The bouncy castles
I
are down
think
here,
I'm gonna
right?
do
Bouncy
a
castles are
stream in the
down there.
morning. I haven't put it to any notes together,
And the barbecue was
but
somewhere
you know,
here, I think.
the fact that Freedom Convoy lives rent free in the minds of leftist heads and it can't go away. You know what that just means? That means it's time to torture them with it and make sure it never goes away. So I remember
thinking back then that it
I remember
looked
freezing
like
my
an NFL tailgate
tuchus
party.
off, but it was the best gathering I ever attended. Yeah, man, it was like
lots of drinking
it was
going
fun. It was
on.
like I keep trying to explain to people, especially people on the left. that it's like you always crow about Woodstock, this amazing thing. Like, you had Woodstock in your capital city, and you applauded the blackface dark authoritarian who crushed it. Like, have you lost all perspective whatsoever? It's really disheartening to see that people now go against everything they believe in because they don't know how to think things through, right? We're losing that ability for critical thinking. Kiss Junkie 100% agree it was amazing. Were you there? I didn't realize. Yeah, how many of you who are in the live chat were actually in Ottawa? And that's not a... It's not a criticism if you couldn't make it. I know there are lots of people who felt massive regret that they couldn't make it to Ottawa. But were you all there? There was a number of people today. Oh, you went for 2 weekends. That's awesome. You know what? I got a question for you. Actually, I asked the photographer I'm working with, by the way, for the book cover, was there for quite a while as well. And he came today to the event that I was speaking at, the Freedom Rally. And there were a lot of people at the Freedom Rally that were in Ottawa as well, which was great to see. All right, so we now know how to do Punchy McGregor on the Fake News YouTube feed. We don't have to use, we don't have to use the YouTube feed. We can use their main feed. That's fine, and we'll do that. And that's it. Okay, yeah, that's so much stuff going on. Okay, so yeah, there were a bunch of people that were there today that were at the Freedom Convoy. And it's great. Every time I see people, it's like there's this coming together. A bunch of people who found each other, developed friendships, all that sort of stuff while they were in Ottawa. And those friendships have kind of blossomed from when they met each other. And they're now families that come together for barbecue. Look how stupid this guy looks. Like, really. He looks like such a scumbag. You know he got punched a lot when he was a little kid, right? But anyways, not a little kid, but an obnoxious teenager. 2 weeks coincidentally was on vacation. You and your besties are in Newmarket. We don't. So yeah, my question was, so my photographer, the photographer I'm working with was there, and I explained to him that I was on stage every Sunday. So after Pastor Hildebrand finished his sermon, the idea was myself and Tamara would go on stage, or myself, Tamara, and Chris would go on stage and thank everybody for attending. That happened the first weekend, and then the second weekend, we were trying to get a hold of Tamara, but she then went to the biker church. We couldn't get a hold of her, we couldn't find her. Or she was in Montreal, one of the others, and the third weekend, the same thing. But were you, Kiss Junkie, if you were there, did you go to the service on Sunday? Did you see Pastor Hildebrand speak? Did you see me speak? Like, were you there for those events, or were you just hanging around the city for the weekends? I'm just curious, right? You don't know anyone up there who is awake in Newmarket, really? People don't understand the significance and the importance of the Freedom Convoy in Newmarket. I mean, there's even people in Toronto that understand it. I mean, not a lot. It depends on the area you go to, right? You go to the working class areas, they kind of get it. But if you live where I live, with the gender studies professors who don't know what gender is and can't define what a woman is, those people, that's what I'm surrounded by. But they don't get it. But obviously, they don't know what a female is. But everybody else understands, right? So we missed the service. So you missed all. Okay, that's too bad. Because I wanted to. I never got actually any. I saw a little bit of video that was there, but in trying to aggregate everything while we were dealing with all these issues was it was just too much. It was too much load because we were trying to put out so many fires. Imnaughty Productions, you did. Oh, so you were there. Okay, and what did you think? Any thoughts, ideas, suggestions, whatever? What did you like? I mean, I think the whole vibe was good through the entire time. The fact that whether it was during the service or like, you know what, I would have loved to go. I saw some of the videos that there were people, they had, they're dancing. They had like a dance party and salsa music and that sort of stuff on the street on like Friday night and Saturday night. And I would have loved to have been able to walk and to go there and go dancing with them. That would have been awesome. But what are you going to do? I was relegated to a wheelchair, so I missed out on a lot. That really sucked. We don't know anybody in Newmarket, period. Our friends are scattered. Yeah, I don't imagine. Actually, no, I know somebody in Newmarket that's completely aware that blackface Trudeau is a veiled communist, and that he's Russian. He thinks we should, well, let's just say he has some pretty extreme views on what you do to leftists, or else they destroy your society, right? So, I have his services on Facebook in my group, I believe. Oh, you mean Pastor Hill? Oh, you have the videos? Really? Really? Jen, can you do me a favor? Can you send me a link? Because I mean, there's so much stuff that was going on that I was involved in I never got to see. Like, I never had the chance to watch it. And half the interviews that I did, Punchy's got me in his documentary. This is when he was denied. He was not allowed to go up, and he came up and stalked my hotel room. What a loser. Punchy. If there's a group of like-minded up here that you know of, please let me know. Yeah, he's not terribly... The person I know is not terribly political. He left Russia for a reason. And he didn't realize that Canadians were this stupid. That's how he says it. Not me. I love Canadians, although some of us are quite naive. We have to admit it. But yeah, Jen, if you have any links to any of the stuff on stage and whatever, Pastor Hildebrand stuff, please let me know. Share it with me or send it to me over Twitter, and I'd love to see that. Okay, guys, I think we got everything sorted out. I have, I'm halfway through my second Smirnoff. And yes, I'm feeling that I'm going to be a little bit tipsy if I don't stop. So, Jen, don't start laughing at me. It's just what I am. Would be cool to see a video of the service. Yeah, you know what? Like, if Jen sends it to me, then I can figure out a way to put that stuff out there on some of the feeds, so people get access to it, because I think it was really good. The kind of, there was a couple of different vibes going on there, right? Because you had a lot of people that were, I don't say religious. They're very Christian. Some of them were religious, of course. Like, I'll tell you a funny story. This is in the book. On February the 4th, it was on the 4th, that's when I broke my ankle. And I had to go to the Ark Hotel to basically yell at some people who ended up torpedoing us. And then I went back to my hotel room. So we had the meeting. Tamara then came a little bit later, gave her a hug, talked about kind of a whole bunch of problems we're trying to deal with and getting everybody on the same page. I thought we did, and I went back to the Sheridan. I think I was done with interviews for the night, if I'm not mistaken, but I might have had another interview. I can't remember what it was. Anyways, and I realized when I got back to the Sheridan, Kiss Junkie, you're being censored, so I'm going to allow people to see your stuff. Oh shit, I just noticed you're inside a small box in the bottom right of my screen. Yeah, that's what I've been trying to get sorted out tonight. So anyways, February 4th, went to the Ark Hotel, had a heated conversation with some people, went back to the Sheridan, realized I left my computer at the Ark Hotel, and for me, my computer is my life. Like, that's my office, is my computer. So I went back to the Ark Hotel, and it was so icy. I've never seen it so icy in my life. And it was just like the car accident I was in the day before, where the left rear of my car just gave out on the highway and ended up in a tree. It was so icy, a whole bunch of other people fell before me that I didn't know of. And it was from the ECD building. And I was walking, I was trying to get there, and one leg slipped, my left leg slipped, and I tried to catch it. I had to try to catch myself on my right foot, and that slipped too. But instead of slipping like rolling your ankles, it went the other way and it slipped forward and back, and I heard a massive crack. And the car accident was 45 minutes before Steven Crowder. That's why he says in the interview, he says that you look remarkably composed for somebody who just had an airbag go off in your face. It's quite funny. So I slipped on the ice. I heard a crack in my ankle, and I'm like, oh God, don't tell me I didn't break anything, because I could wiggle my toes. So what do I know about medicine? Absolutely nothing. And so I tried to get up. I couldn't. And I tried to get up. I heard a crack. So I went to... there were two guys in front of the Ark Hotel, and one of them was yelling at me and saying, hey, do you need a hand? And I said, yeah, I think so. So he came over and he's like, do you need a hand? And I'm like, yeah, I need a little bit of help, unfortunately. And he leans down and says, okay, let me help you. He leans down, touches my ankle, and says, Jesus, Lord, God bless and heal this ankle, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, listen, man, I love you. Thank you. But I was thinking of a medic, like somebody, give me a medic, a paramedic, whatever you want to call it. And then the other guy in front of the hotel is like, hey, do you need help? Do you need help? And I'm like, yes, I do. This time a medic. And the guys were so nice. I'm like, I know you're trying to help. I appreciate it. I love you, brother. But it was pretty soon. They came, they dragged me into the Ark Hotel, put me on the couch, and then everybody started to come down, and because everybody, surprisingly, more than I realized, everybody knew who I was, and came down, and some of them were trying to give me medication. They were calling the doctors to help and whatever. And it was pretty... It was quite nice to see how much love there was amongst some of those people who I was just arguing with. But, I was injured and everybody wanted to help. Like, it was amazing. It was really good. Do you know why Tamara spent so much time in jail and you didn't? Many don't know the details on that. I don't know precisely. Like, I know her and Chris were picked up because, they were the leaders. So, when the police want to break up any sort of demonstration, you go for the leaders. They were on the street. I wasn't, obviously, because I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't get out. So I think that had something to do with it. And then once I explain this in the book, the circumstances to us leaving, it's not what some people in media and alternative media stated. But when I left the hotel, first I had a meeting with all the road captains. They came to my hotel room on the morning of the 18th, and Tamara was arrested, Chris was arrested. There seemed to be a vacuum, and they needed somebody to go to bounce ideas off of and talk to. So okay, and so he came to me, and they explained that there was a guy he had his truck raided the night before, like in the middle of the night, like 2 a.m. And the cops came, and they pulled their guns on him, smashed the windows, and he did what he was told. He just stayed in his truck, went to the back of his bunk, and just sat there and waited for them to go away, which had been happening for a few days. The cops were just doing intimidation tactics. Well, this time, they knocked on his door, on his truck several times. He ignored it, just went into the back, and then they smashed the windows, and they had like 6 of them with their guns drawn, and 2 of them went in and dragged him out of his bunk, threw him in the snow, and handcuffed him and arrested him. So the road captains came in to my hotel room to tell me exactly what went on. So they said, this is what happened last night. Things are getting serious. The cops are getting really aggressive with us and all that sort of stuff. And I had been speaking, in this whole time, I got to know Jordan Peterson pretty well. Like, we were talking quite a lot. And he was an advocate of, you guys have won. the government is now a disaster. You got to think about leaving. And I had said to him, yeah, but I know most of the truckers wouldn't leave, irrespective of what the leadership said. And I said it has to be when they want to leave, right? Like we can, and I got to see that kind of the road captains and all of them. So anyways, they came in, they told me what happened. And I said, okay, well, what do you want to do? I'll tell you what I think you should do. And I said, I think now that the government has gone violent and we've been peaceful the entire time, we can't allow anybody to get hurt. And if that's what happened last night, it's going to get more violent. And Salman was chirping in my ear because Salman had been through this in Iran and seen what violent police protest crackdowns look like. And he said they're doing the exact same tactics here. So I said to them, I think maybe it's time to leave. If everybody's getting arrested, they're the ones who are getting violent. We've won. The next step will be in the court system and government relations and all that sort of stuff. And to my surprise, the road captains, who were all truckers, they said, yeah, we were thinking the same thing. A whole bunch of us on the ground think we need to leave. And I said, okay, well, if that's what you want to do, I'll support you. If you guys want to stay, I'll support you as well. Like, you just tell me what you want to do. And they said, no, let's leave. And I said, okay, great. So we started formulating an idea, who's going to call who, which truckers. There were liaison officers they needed to call. I said, call the liaison officers and all that sort of stuff. And they put a plan into action really loosely of how to start informing all the truckers that, okay, guys, it's time to leave. It's just going to get violent now. We've made our point. We've won. And let's move out. And so I went and I put a thing on Twitter shortly after saying, well, no, it wasn't. Yeah, it's complicated. There's a couple things going on. And then our lawyers called me and told me to leave. I'm like, what do I have to leave? I'm a gimp in a wheelchair. Like, I'm not going anywhere. He's like, yeah, but you have to leave. They're arresting everybody. I'm like, I'm a gimp in a hotel room in a wheelchair. Why would they arrest me? He said, well, they might. I'm like, oh, why? What for? What, because I go on TV and I talk? He said, yeah, maybe. Okay, so we were arguing for about 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. And then finally I said, I don't even know how I'm going to leave. Like, where do you know, like I had somebody I could stay with in Ottawa, but he said, he was very adamant, you have to leave the hotel and get out of the hotel now. So I said, okay, I don't know. I'll try and call an Uber. If I can call an Uber and get an Uber, I'll leave and I'll let you know, sort of thing. And so it was at that time I called an Uber, and I had took the Uber 45 minutes to drive 3 miles, because remember, there are all those checkpoints, because again, the government turned Canada into a third world shithole. And so while I was waiting for the Uber to come, and I guess this was 11:30, 12 o'clock, something like that, the what's it called? I put out a tweet saying that many of us, I should have done a multi-thread tweet to make it more clear and more clear. I was trying to be too concise, which was a mistake on my end. But basically, I was trying to fit into one tweet that, and I put something many of us have now left Ottawa, meaning the red zone in Ottawa, the hotel. And we've advised other people to do, we've won, and blah, blah, blah. Something to that effect. I don't even remember the tweet exactly. I should remember, because we were talking about it 2 weeks ago when we were looking at the book. And then Ezra Levant retweets it and says, it looks like you ran. And I'm like, you fucking asshole. What a piece of shit. I was so angry at that. But anyways, he talks a lot and doesn't listen a lot. And so then I ended up, I stayed in Ottawa until March the 12th. I had to get my cast off and stuff like that. But that's the story of how we left. So the police were looking for the leaders to get out of Ottawa. That's what they wanted. You noticed with Great sound effects with the ice cubes clicking. Thank you, Kiss Junkie. They just wanted at that time to break up the protests. They were getting a lot of heat politically from the higher ups. And I think because they had already arrested Tamara and they had arrested Chris Barber, and I think he was either released or just about to be released, if I'm not mistaken. And because I was out of the red zone and I was never on the street, I think that's why. Because I was essentially a public relations spokesperson, whatever you want to call it. I mean, nobody held any specific hats. There were a lot of times where Tamara would call me and ask me for ideas and advice with everyone. Okay, I give some suggestions. This is what I would do. And then some other times I was very aggressive and assertive, saying, no, we cannot do that. That's the stupidest idea I've ever heard. Let's tone it down. And so there was a lot of that. But anyways, Tamara wouldn't leave after warned. Yeah, I didn't know that she was warned to leave. Like, I was never warned to say you need to get out of here, because again, I didn't have a truck there. My truck was in Toronto, and I was relegated to being a guy in a wheelchair in a hotel room. So I was really limited in my capacity. I mean, even when I went to go give a speech, I was adamant to every Sunday after Pastor Hillebrand gave his sermon, I would go for the sermon and then speak for like 5 minutes just to thank everybody. I thought that was important. I wanted all of us to be there every weekend to thank everybody for being there. But, oh, God, it was like a half hour every time because it was always fresh snow. I had crutches. Didn't have, like, the wheelchair. There's too much snow, so the wheelchair couldn't really work in it. And there was ice under the snow, so it took me like a half hour just to get myself the few blocks because the police blocked off 2 streets away from the stage. So I had to, on my crutches, go in the snow on the ice, and I almost wiped out a few times to get to the stage. And, one time or a couple of times we asked the cops saying, can we have just a car? Can you let one car through just to drive him up to the stage? And nope, we can't. And I'm like, oh yeah, we got an asshole rookie here, which that means. It wasn't exactly the March of Dimes, if you know what I mean. So yeah, that's a little bit of what was going on behind the scenes. Some of this is covered in the book. There's a lot more. And it was so annoying and it was so obnoxious to hear people, I don't know if it was through Rebel News or PPC or what's that fucking asshole, what's his name? Randy Hillier. Just going out of the way to constantly, why didn't he get arrested? Well, Bridget didn't get arrested. Sean didn't get arrested. The 50 other people there didn't get arrested. So yeah, I didn't get arrested either. 2 people got arrested. But we kind of know where their worldview comes from, and it's a very dark place. And what can you do? I just focused on being positive, and I just needed everybody to focus on loving each other, being kind to each other, and staying in that positive headspace. That's what I put so much of my energy into. And then trying to communicate to the foreign media, because Canadian fake news media is useless, but alternative and foreign media, that message that we're there for peace, unity, love, and freedom. And we just want the mandates in this app gone, and we all go home. That's it, right? And anyways, Randy Hillier is negative. Randy Hillier tried to sabotage us frequently because Randy Hillier works for Brian Patterson, who is the president of the Ontario Conservative Party. That's why when Randy Hillier, one of the things I remember seeing this and saying he's going to get himself charged. He was up on Parliament Hill, and like the doofus that he is, they had these barricades so people could only walk up the stairs. Basic crowd control. I get it. I understand why the police do it. And Randy Hillier was caught on camera moving the fence barriers and trying to coax people into, storming Parliament Hill. Just like Antifa did to people on January 6th, that's what Randy Hillier was doing, trying to get people to get themselves arrested. Like, there's no bigger piece of shit in the world. I couldn't believe what he was doing. And he was, every day, he was convincing people, because we had a media strategy, my media strategy, and it worked pretty well. There's a reason the Freedom Convoy went global, because I know a lot of people who have very large audiences, and I worked all of my connections to get us as much favorable press as possible. But Randy Hillier, who works, remember, for the Ontario Conservative Party, Doug Ford, who needed this protest to end, he had other ideas. So he would, every day he would pick at somebody else involved in the Freedom Convoy and go to them and say, I know media. These guys have no idea what they're doing. You should call a press conference. I can call people in the media and get you a press conference, and you can go in front of the camera. And half of these truckers, the first time, really? I can go in front of the camera, whatever? Yeah, that was Randy Hillier that was doing that. Just constantly trying to sabotage us. So, but more on that later. He's not the only one. He's like low-level loser, right? Like, there are other people that were much more significant. So when I'm talking about who sabotaged the Freedom Convoy, I'm not talking about Randy Hillier. He's, the equivalent of a janitor. No, what am I saying? Being a janitor is a respectable position and a respectable job. But anyways, Randy Hillier, yeah, he was such a nightmare constantly. It was such a disaster. I also have direct experience with him personally about my vaccine injury. Oh, let me guess. He wanted to exploit it, didn't he? He also posted the gas cans and explosives. Or that's a question. I don't know. I mean, I couldn't spend all my time on, like, Randy Hillier was a small barfly. I had so many bigger things, or we all had so many bigger things to deal with than his bullshit. It was just kind of noise on the side. And a typical divide and conquer. That's what, all political parties do that. The Conservatives do that, as do the Liberals do that. We saw a little bit of that today with the Freedom Movement at Queen's Park. That's getting a lot of momentum. So what's happened? Well, the money starts to fly from certain people affiliated with political parties, and to cause division and to separate the groups and to ruin the movement. I'll give you a perfect example. And this is what Tamara and I spoke about at the very beginning. This was the whole premise of We're Not Leaving. That was a message to the Conservative Party. That's what that was for. Because in 2018, they did a convoy. Remember the yellow vest movement? It was very popular in France, and it started in Canada. Okay, so what happened? They started a convoy. A lot of the people who were, volunteers and helping with the convoy, the Freedom Convoy, were helping with it. So they had their original convoy, and they moved they started moving across the country. They got into Ottawa just before they got there. And they were doing the same thing to us, by the way. Before we even got to Ottawa, they were trying to meddle in our convoy, but I slammed the door on that really quickly. It's spent so much of my time, wasted so much of my time on that. Anyways, so in the original one in 2018, the Yellow Vest trucking convoy went to Ottawa, and then when they got there, it was decided that half of them are racist just because that's what conservatives do, just like the Liberals. Everybody's racist. So Michelle Rempel and Andrew Scheer, the leader, went to the leaders of the a couple of the leaders of the convoy, and they pulled a few of them aside and said, listen, those people are racist. You can't be associated with them. But if you want to run a convoy and maybe do a political tour across the country, we're going to fund you. We'll give you money for it. Build your own organization. We'll promote it, and that will be the Convoy, and you won't be affiliated with those people. And the other people are like, what the hell? We came here together as a convoy for a purpose. It's about oil and gas and all that sort of stuff. So it was Michelle Rempel and Andrew Scheer that sabotaged it. So that became United We Roll. So that was created by the Conservative Party to divide the movement. And what happened? Well, after a few months, the movement died out, which is why I said to Tamara when she initially called me for the convoy, said, no politicians and no Conservative politicians, because we know they'll sabotage it. And she agreed fully. She said, absolutely, that's what. And wow, when we were putting the book together and going back through all the emails and realizing who these people were who were emailing us talking points, like, oh, we got some talking points for you. Like, thanks. We don't need your talking points. We're doing pretty well. So anyways, I could go on this for hours. As you can imagine, this is why putting the book together was so difficult. Just to we wanted to keep it around the 50,000 word limit, just so it's not, you don't want to write War and Peace. We could have, but let's keep it as concise and make it a positive story, which is what we really focused on. So I think you're really going to like it. The book's awesome. Anyways, I'm almost done my drink, and pretty good in terms of going to sleep. And I got 4% left on my iPad battery. So I think that means it's time to go. Jennifer, thank you so much for helping me sort this out. I think I now have a format. And when I go to do it, we're going to start, it's going to be a mess. But at least I have a sense of what needs to be done. And maybe next weekend, I'll reach out to you guys in the Twitter space and all that sort of stuff, and talk to Pam, who wants to be involved in it as well. And we'll figure out a night that's good for everybody where we can all hang out here and watch this pathetic documentary, which is, I don't know how long it is, I'll have to check, and have some fun together and watch it. So thank you for helping for everything here. And if we're good, I'm going to shut it all down and go to sleep soon. Just do my to-do list for tomorrow and go crash. And I hope you guys all have an awesome night. And Jennifer, don't get white girl wasted. All right. DJ karaoke. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, you know what? Maybe I'll stop in for a little bit before I go crash, because I've had such a long week and I've barely slept this week at all. If you can check out this song later, 2020 by Mitra. Good luck, keep fighting. Okay, can you send that to me, Francine, in Twitter, because I don't have a good means of copying and pasting, and I will forget it if I don't jot it down. I'll forget it right now. There's so many things bouncing around in my mind, and I'm a little bit I'm not drunk. It's a little relaxed right now. Okay, all right. I love you all. Thank you so much for being so sweet, and thank you so much for the help. And we're gonna do this maybe next weekend, and we'll talk about it.